Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the Southside Unicorn.
Hey, it's Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. We're doing one of those video shows again this time around. Every now and then we mix it up. Normally it's a podcast, pure audio, but then there's sometimes that we're going to start doing video. So we can have conversations with the people in the community. You can meet some of the people that I meet. We can start getting this feel for what's going on, what's going down. Hey, it's already May of 2021. Don't look like much has changed from the day they asked us to shelter in place and let them figure out what's going on. I mean, in the city of Redlands, it appears that the bar owners, were actually arrested for making fake uh, vaccination cards. Now, I don't get it. By arresting them, by creating some specter of criminality, now they've given more bite to that card. Now they've given themselves more authority for that card. I hope that in a court of law they're going to prevail because that's no different than me making a bubblegum, a copy of a bubblegum wrapper, technically. So that's going to end up being something we want to watch. But now let's just dive off into this show tonight. What I've done, ladies and gentlemen, I like talking to the young people. I talk to them in the community, as you can see on my page, on my Instagram. I stop and I visit with them. If we, as they call us, the OGs, don't reach out to these young people, well then CNN 257 and 11 gonna do it for us. And we cannot have that. So there's some young people in my community. I've literally watched them grow up. I mean, not like from wee little toddlers and whatnot, but like from young teens to vibrant, healthy young men. Now, going back to 9/11, real quick, when 9/11 happened, the young man you see in the video here, better known as Kendo wasn't even born. He wasn't even here. The trajectory of his life, I would say, started at 9/11. And this thing has been like a rock knocked down a snow covered hill. It's just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, he's going to be covered up, and that's so that he can continue to have a livelihood. So don't get him mistaken for Antifa, who love to cover up, and nothing happens to them. I mean, they burn places down, they put lasers in the eyes of cops. Nothing happens to them. BLM, same way. But now, young Kendo here is an American citizen, has a job, he's in college, hasn't broken any laws, doesn't intend to. I mean, when you consider that he's in college with a criminal just for pursuing a criminal justice degree, I would imagine he's not going to be doing anything all jacked up. However, he has to cover his face because we live in a place that we believe is called America. And we live in a time when a good young man like Kendo has to cover his face just to speak his opinion. Now, I hope you stay tuned with us because we're going to talk to Kendo for a little while. And we're going to pick the mind of a good, solid 21-year-old who's living in COVID America. So I want you to join me. And if you have any questions for Kendo, feel free to leave them on the show or post them at the bit.ly/unicorn44. And we'll probably come back together at another time and stew those up. Kendo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you turn around?
Yes, sir. We're good to go.
We're good to go. Make
All
make
right.
sure you cover your face up now.
Hmm.
And I want people to understand that alone should tell you that something is wrong with America. There stands a good young man, and he's got to cover his face so that these woke people don't do him any harm. Yeah.
It's not even that. There's people in my inner circle that I have to make sure they don't lose their jobs. That their business is none of my business, but for whatever reason, apparently that's the new thing nowadays. If someone's related to you, apparently, you gotta get rid of their life as well, even though they have nothing to do with it.
Guilt by association.
Yep. Yep.
I've heard that before. I mean, it was back in like 1934, 1935, when the
Mm-hmm.
Luftwaffe and the SS and all those
Oh
cats was
yeah.
pimping around, they would get you by association. And, it's a darn shame. Hey, I see you got the American flag on your wall right there. That's pretty cool.
It's a 13 colonies flag, but it still is American.
Oh,
I'm
well,
a very big
explain
Betsy
that.
Ross person.
Explain that. The
So
13.
13 colonies, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm only human, I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
13 colonies, back when we first came over here, a little bit past the Mayflower. I don't remember times exactly. But it was the 13 colonies were the original 13 colonies that united
Mm-hmm.
together against the British. And Betsy Ross is one of the women that sewed the flag together with the 13 stars in a circle,
Mm-hmm.
13 colonies. And that was, unless I am wrong, which I could be, is our very first
Nah,
flag.
nah, you good. It wasn't our
Our very
first
first
flag,
flag, right?
but no, pardon me, it wasn't our first flag. But I just want to have you extol on that for a little bit because
Oh, yeah.
see, my knowledge of the Betsy Ross flag brings forth images of LeBron James when he was all in a huff over a pair of gym shoes that sported the
Oh,
Betsy
yeah.
Ross
Yep.
flag. Russ
If
Limbaugh, rest in peace. He really was livid about it because just like yourself, Kendo,
mm,
we know better. We know
mhm,
better than the educated LeBron James.
mhm.
That flag is a beautiful flag. The woman who made the flag, Betsy Ross, was a Quaker. Quakers didn't hate nobody. She was not a racist. She
And if I'm
couldn't
not
be.
wrong, they were persecuted out of Europe, correct?
Exactly.
Part of why we came over here.
Exactly. But the educated LeBron James, he went all apoplectic over that flag you got over there in the corner of your room because they
Mhm.
want a pair of shoes. But what does that do? That triggers the young people who are in the same age group as you, and now they want to do harm to you over a flag
Yep.
because LeBron James, who's fully aware of his influence, y'all be mindful. The man said last week, I'm fully aware of the power of my influence. And, you're stepping in the wrong direction when you're talking to an educated man.
Hmm.
So, so I just wanted to expand on your Betsy Ross flag there real
No,
quick.
no, no. It's by my side for a reason. There's days I look at it and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, oh, pardon my language. Is
Yeah,
he?
you know what? I watch this, Kendo. I kind of figured, knowing you the way I do, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
have to put a disclaimer on this show. Go ahead and talk, man. Say what you gotta say.
yeah. Like I told you, I grew up in a house of sailors. My grandparents, my parents, they both talked very provocatively. And
Mm-hmm.
my sister and I kind of picked up on that at a young age, which is not a good thing to have, but it's. Anyways, it's there, and it's hard sometimes. But the reason I have the 13 colonies flag is because the way I like to see it is uh, we're still I guess you'd say fighting for change. We're still, I guess, in a sense, in a fight. We may have the 50 stars, and we do have 50 states, but I don't know.
And we
There's something
could
about
have
the third.
51 if the
Mm-hmm.
Democrats get it their way. I mean, or 52 or 53. They're just trying to stack the deck, bottom line, so that nothing normal is ever normal again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. We are in a fight, Kendo, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to just
Mm-hmm.
pick your brain. As a young man growing up in this America, when I was growing up, you be careful not to let too much of yourself be seen there,
Oh yeah,
because
no,
I would
yeah,
feel real bad.
no, that's
Um,
okay.
how old do you know?
21, 21.
When I was 21 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting out of the no, I was still in the Air Force at that time, I believe. Yeah. When I was 21 years old, it was a much, much different America than the one you're living in right now. 9/11, as I told everyone, you weren't even here. If my math holds up, you weren't even, you know. But then let's scroll forward. Let's scroll forward. Let's get to the year 2016.
Mm-hmm.
You were what, about 16 years old, right?
16 years old, exactly. Yes.
So you knew about this gentleman, Donald J. Trump, who was running for president, right?
So okay, by that time in 2016, um, let's see, let's put it. I lived in two households. One household was very very far left. The other household was very very far right. Being at that age, I kind of
Mhm.
took. I would like to say I took the pros and cons of both and kind of combined them.
Which is what,
But
that's what all young people do that, in a blended family or the
mhm,
mom and dad aren't together. You're gonna take the good from all of them and as little
mhm.
bad as you possibly can.
Yep.
Does it matter? I guess I can ask which one was on the left and which one was on the right? Was it mom, dad? How did that break down for you?
I will say that my mom is very very far left. My dad and his family is I wouldn't say extremely far right. I'd say they're probably just basic right.
Let's just say they
Whereas
didn't vote for Obama, right?
no, no, they did not want Obama.
Somehow I think I would be right with that. So okay, you're 16. You're in two
Mhm,
families. You're getting it from the left and you're getting it from the right.
mhm.
What's happening with you? What are the thoughts when you were 16 and watching
Um,
Donald J. Trump run for president?
honestly, yeah, honestly, by the time 2016 rolled around, the whole because you got to think, kids my age, that doesn't really matter to us. We're in school. The biggest thing to us right now is stressing over grades that we don't really care about. Our high school relationships,
Hmm.
video games, our social, or sorry about that, our social lives.
Hmm.
Is our school going to win the football game? But the thing is, in
The homecoming
2016,
game and all that stuff, right?
yeah, that's what 16-year-olds should be worried about. But the
Hmm.
thing is, it got very, very politicized, and I went to a school that was very I wouldn't say it was very politically active. I'd say it was very diverse. We had a lot of Caucasians, a lot of African Americans, a lot of Asian Americans, a lot of
Was it a
Hispanic
nice
Americans.
blend in your school or was it
Yes.
like predominantly somebody?
Oh no, it was a nice blend. We had just about um if I,
Mm.
of the honesty, if I had to say, I believe there was probably a little bit more. If I had to break it down, I would say probably Asians, Caucasians, African Americans, Hispanics. But to me, I'm not really worried about that.
Mm.
See people. I'm not sitting here analyzing everyone's
Right.
color. I could be wrong for all I know. My memory could be wrong.
But now
Um,
here comes a question for you about the
mhm,
16-year-old Kendo.
yeah,
Were you guys like having racial strife in your high school? Was that like a big thing in your
we
school?
see that's the thing. That's why I remember 2016 so vividly. We didn't have that until the 2016 election came along, and I remember the very day. Okay, so I remember coming home from school the day I believe the election had been called,
Hmm.
and like I said, I wasn't really that worried about. It. I was like, oh, who won? And my
Right,
dad was
because you're
like,
16 years old. Yeah.
yeah. My dad was like,
Hmm.
oh, they say Trump got it. I was like, okay, cool. So at that time, if I'm honest, I was probably more right leaning than left.
Hmm. So you were happy
And
about the results at least.
yeah, yeah, I was
Hmm.
like, I just kind of, it was an old day. I hopped on my PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it was. I was like, hey, this person won the election. We were like, yeah, okay, whatever. We played games. The
Hmm.
thing was, the next day when we went to school, I had some friends that were, your stereotypical teenagers that are just a-holes.
Hmm.
So and most of my friends were right leaning, and one of them comes in wearing a Hillary Clinton mask, and the other one comes in wearing a Donald J.
Ooh.
Trump mask. Well, they were doing it just to be funny, and they were like play fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And security didn't like that, so security took
Oh.
away took away the Hillary mask from my Asian friend who loves Donald Trump. Like I
Hmm.
said, it was part of a joke. They were just joking with each other, and then
Yeah.
they take the Donald Trump mask away, right? So we're
Uh-huh.
like, okay, whatever. They didn't like our shenanigans. So the bell rings for the first class. Everyone's walking to class, and I remember I will never ever forget this. There was two young African Americans, one female, one male,
Hmm.
and they were both at the bottom of the stairs. At my high school, we had two levels. They were at the bottom of the stairs. They had one of those stereo, no, sorry, a Bluetooth speaker, and they were playing F Donald Trump. And I'm sitting here thinking, where
Wow.
where where the hell's security? We
Where,
get
where, where's Skirty? Skirty. Yo,
exactly
yo,
like they get a
You
pass
just
because of
gaffled
the
me and
color
my
of their
boy, right?
skin.
About the
Exactly, like,
mask. Yeah.
and my friends that did it were Asian and Hispanic.
Wow.
But when it came to the African Americans in the school, and they were just sitting there doing it, I just kind of looked at them. I was like, guys, come on, like we're at school, like
And
come on,
and check this out. I hear what you're saying, Kendo. Let's take the name Donald J. Trump and just throw it out the way. It's not even part of the equation. They
Mm-hmm,
could have been saying F Donald Duck. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? It's the
yep,
F that should have got security involved and handled that situation. So I guess
mm-hmm,
what you're saying is right there. was the beginning,
Hmm.
the beginning, because you can see the inequity where your friends are exercising their freedom of speech and they're doing
Hmm.
it in a positive, non-confrontational way, but
Between
then
each other, which they
between
knew
each
they
other,
knew each
mutual
other.
mutual
Yeah,
agreement,
and it was
right?
only within our friend group. They weren't going up to random strangers and doing it.
See, I like the way
You know
you
how
do
high
it,
school
Kendo.
is.
You're highly intelligent, man. I truly appreciate that. You're right. What you guys did was self-contained. It was you all having
Well,
fun amongst yourselves,
that's how it is
and
in high
not.
school. You know, you have the populars, you have the
Mhm.
athletic people, and then there was us. Where if I were to describe my friend group, um,
Nerds.
yeah, nerd. A
Own
lot of
it,
people
man.
would call us
I'm a
nerdy.
nerd
No,
too. It's all
I won't
good. It's
lie.
okay. You know what
I
I'm saying?
won't lie.
Right, but see
Nerdy,
now,
patriotic, and
mm,
really into firearms. I don't know why. Why we were really young into firearms at that time. That's just how we were, and
well,
that's just what we
let me
did.
help you out with that. You happen to be what they consider a young American male.
Hmm.
Traditionally, young American males gravitate toward guns. But now I was
Hmm.
trying to make a point. The African American kids have their music, one, too loud, two, music in the school, three, it's profanity. And
Hmm.
still nothing happened to them.
Yep, nothing happened. Nothing
So
happened.
how'd that make you
I was
feel?
like, honestly, the way I looked at it, I was like, this is, you sit here and I don't remember my exact thoughts at the time, but looking back on it, I would assume that my thoughts were somewhere along the lines of, you sit here and you say you're treated a certain way. Well, yeah, you're right. You're the ones with privilege. It's not other people's
Oh,
privilege.
Kendo,
You're the
whoa,
ones with
whoa, whoa, whoa,
privilege.
stop. Time out, Kendo. Time out. Are you trying to say that they have black privilege?
No,
Is
I
there
wouldn't say
such a
black. I
thing?
want to say black privilege. I'd say, how would you word this? I guess for lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'd say left-sided privilege or liberal privilege. Because the thing is, I will say
Ah, very
this.
good. Okay.
Last year, I
Mm-hmm.
think last year, like right before the pandemic hit, because I've been graduated for 3 years now, but
Mm-hmm.
um, before the pandemic hit, it had come out like there was a
Stop.
big.
No. Calm down. I'm I'm still with you back in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And trying to get to a place with you. We're gonna get there.
Mhm.
You know they say it's all right because we're saved by the bell. Right? We're still as saved by the bell, man.
Mhm.
So
But yeah,
how
what
did
I was
it?
gonna say is
Mm,
it had been released that there was a blackmail scandal within the security guards at that school,
whoa.
and
What do you mean?
yeah,
Well, stop. What do you mean blackmail scandal? Were you
okay,
talking about black
so
males that were doing something
no,
wrong,
blackmail,
or are
like
you talking about
mail
people
is in
who had
envelopes.
something hung over their head?
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so what I believe the case is still ongoing. I could be wrong. What I
Four
had
years
heard
later.
from other people running down the chain, as
Mm-hmm.
per usual, your usual hearsay. What I heard was one security officer went to the board of whoever oversees the security in high schools in the district
Mm-hmm.
and was trying to say something about misconduct in his specific security place and da da da. And they tried to silence him, and then they tried to blackmail him, and so now he's in a lawsuit with them. Which I hope he wins. He's a good guy. I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh, well, don't say his name, but I am
I'm
going to
not.
ask for some. I'm going to ask for some clarity on what was the issue. What was it that he was upset about? Was it an inequity of justice, or what was it that he
Um,
saw?
I don't know exactly. That's the thing with the
Mm,
hearsay that came in. All I
okay.
know is that it was something that security guards,
Okay.
they're there to protect children, and
Right.
obviously whatever it was, because I knew the guy who got who I know
Mm-hmm.
the guy who was suing them for the wrongdoing.
Okay.
He
So
he was
then
the
watch this.
utmost of.
We'll move along from that then, because I mean,
Uh,
if we can't substantiate what it is, and we don't really know.
mm,
Blah.
yeah.
So now it's not 2016 no more. Trump has
Hmm.
won. What were you in 2016? A sophomore, a freshman? What were you?
I believe when that let's see. So 2016, I believe I was a sophomore. That would have been first semester if I'm correct. It was either
No, that's second year, sophomore, second year.
yeah, second year, but first semester because you have your
Okay,
first semester, which
because
is
it's November.
fall,
Yeah, you've
and then
barely gone
spring, and
back.
then summer. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so let's go into your junior year. That gives Trump
Okay.
1 year in office.
Yes, 2017, I believe.
2017.
Hmm.
Is your daily experience in your high school anything like your freshman year, your sophomore year? Now that you're a junior
Um,
and Trump's been in office for a year.
I wouldn't say the politics had gotten up that much, but I will say that did see a really a slight increase of politics. People started wearing the BLM shirts, and then you saw, your average, people just started doing the average Republican Democrat. So either someone's wearing a Trump
So
shirt or
it was
someone's wearing a BLM
starting. It was
shirt.
starting to do
It
its
was
thing.
very
Okay.
starting. It was
So
slowly starting.
now we're at 2018, which is your senior year.
Yes.
What's happening?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you, Kenny. I really didn't pay much attention senior year because one, romance, and two.
That'll do it. Hey, okay, fine. Watch
No,
this.
two. Here's the thing. My senior year, I did college classes. I did college classes after high school. So as soon as high school got out, I took my butt up to college, and I did college classes after school. So I don't really remember that much of my senior year.
You had your eye on the prize. You're trying to
both prizes.
That's a good one. So you're trying to educate yourself. You're trying to get ready for your adult life, which is happening pretty quick at that point. So now it's 2019. What's happening with you? What's going on? What do you see happening in your world?
2019, I believe. See, I've been in a job for a year, I believe. 2019. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I know
Happened
that's
in the world. I don't think anything too major, to be honest with you. 2019, got a job. I was doing high school, or no, not high school, doing college.
So you really were about your education on that, because by 2019 we had already had several shootings of unarmed black people. We'd certainly had riots and looting by 2019, but that's not in your vision. That's not in your scope, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't really have time for that. I had 3 class. I went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I also worked. So as soon as I got out of college, I took my butt straight to work. My work clothes were either on from the moment I woke up, or in my trunk ready to go, because I just had to go to work. I had to pay.
You are the epitome of the old saying, "An idle mind is the playground for the devil." You were not idle. You were handling your business. So okay,
I didn't have time for the politics.
I love it. But those of us listening to you talk and knowing the histrionics of our country can see where I'm trying to go with this.
Yeah.
You're not looking to loot or burn.
Nope.
You're not. And from what I know of you, and I've known you for some years now, I don't see racism in you, and I don't see you. I've never seen you treat anybody other than like people. So you got all excited.
I will say,
because that's who you
bad
are.
days. I've been having bad days this week just because of work, and I may have been more attitudey towards people. Well, someone the other day said they said hi to me, and I thought I said hi back. In my head, I said hi back. I guess I didn't. I apologize. I was like, I'm sorry. I have a lot of things on my mind.
But then they got mad at you because they thought you didn't say hi back to them?
No, they weren't really mad. They were just like, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, just nothing towards you. I'm sorry. My mind wasn't there,
Right. So now we're in the 2020, and almost just like you said in 2016.
Hello?
No, I'm right here. Are you there?
Okay, yeah, you're hold on. I'm here for you. You're lagging on my end. Give me 1 second.
Okay. You got all that super gear on. It looks like you got PlayStation gear on and all that stuff. Looks like you ready.
Okay, yeah, my internet's fine. I don't know what happened.
All right.
Oh, you know what? Actually, since you commented, I do want to say this because I've noticed something. So I will say about the skull face mask. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. I'm a gamer. Okay, this is from a video game. This isn't part of the Antifa fools who love to use skulls for no reason. Because you'll see there's skulls used in both sides. Okay. I'm gonna say right now, the skulls on the right side come from the American Sniper Chris Kyle and the video games. Hence mine. Mine isn't for the Antifa BS. All right, I just want to get that out. I know some people see the skull.
I was trying to explain that, but you just did a better job of clearing that up. So now here we are. It's November of 2020. You're of age. I mean, you can actually vote now. Please tell me you voted. Did you vote?
Of course I did. Of course, as soon as the poll opened up. Oh no! Here, let me tell you this. Not only did I vote in 2020 election, I believe 2018, a little bit after I graduated, they had local. It was either local or state. Elections being held, and it was at my high school, so I went and voted at my high school. Local and state elections. I believe it was state. I could be wrong, but yeah, I did. Of course, I voted.
Okay, and do you mind telling the audience who you voted for?
Oh, I voted Trump all the way. Trump, of course.
Now, how did I know that? I almost wanted to be like, the great Rolando. I got my psychic powers going on here. Now, you voted for President Donald J. Trump to have a second term.
Yes, sir.
You also said to us in this nice conversation we having that you were pursuing your education and your love life.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you, bro, Kendo, your
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, is history about to repeat itself? Are you now the conservative and your girlfriend is left wing? What's happening with that? How was she about your
Um.
choice with Donald J.
So
Trump?
um. Let me clear up nothing because it kind of sounds like you're So the romance in my high school senior year, yeah, that didn't last.
Air
I will
quotes.
say though,
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we're all young and we have hormones pumping through our brains, so love to us isn't really love. You don't know that until well, I'm just saying, back I look back then and I'm like, what I thought love was back then is nothing what love truly is.
That's you
Love is
maturing
work.
at the
Love is
speed of light. Yeah, yeah,
well, I
yeah.
came from a family where I kind of had to, I took care of five
Mhm.
sisters. I know by the age of 16, I know how to make a bottle. I know how to do a diaper. I know how to, get
Look
a
at
baby to go to
you.
bed.
And you going to school
Yeah.
and you working. Kendo, you making me tired just telling me about yourself, man. I didn't know all of that. So okay,
Yep.
so what you're saying is your choice of voting for President Donald J. Trump did not affect your personal life. Or
In a
did it?
sense, it did. So, my girlfriend and I, my current girlfriend and I, have been together for a good amount of time.
Hmm.
She wasn't as heavily into politics, but she could see when things. She knows what's right and what's not. And so,
Mm.
like over time, I would talk to her about things, and we finally got around to actually sitting down and talking about politics. And we talked about it, and I was like, "Do you know what political party you're on?" And she said, "No, not
If you're
really."
gonna get serious with somebody, you got to get
Oh yeah,
serious about
definitely.
that conversation. Yeah.
Definitely. I'll tell you what my teacher told me in college. When you date someone, there's five things you have to talk about,
What are
and it's
those?
the five. Well, it's the five things that are most important to you as a person. So,
Okay.
one of those five things to me is politics because I love my country. I
Well,
love my country so much.
mine is
Extremely
Coke
patriotic.
Zero. You
I
know,
know you love your Coke Zero.
give me the remote control. I got to have the remote control.
Hmm.
I'm driving the car, you passenger. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
that's how we are. Yep, and I'm
And
completely fine with that.
we must have a chicken meal at least 3 times a week, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And we gotta have some other things at least 3 times a week, and that's my
Yep.
five.
Yep. Everyone has their five. We sat there and we
Hmm.
talked about it, and I looked at her. I was like, okay, so from what you're telling me, because like I said, she didn't really know political ideals, and I looked at her. I was like, so what you're telling me basically is you are a right wing party or a Republican. She
Hmm.
goes, oh yeah, and I was like, yep. She goes, okay, well then that's what I am. I was like, yep.
Now, you sure
That's
she wasn't faking the funk? I mean, because
no.
you're a pretty handsome young man,
No,
and
because
you on your way to
once I met her
uh-huh.
mom and
Oh,
her
you met
family,
her
it made
mom
sense.
too?
Yeah. Hmm.
So let me get this straight. I want to paint a picture of Kendo. Kendo is a very well-rounded young man with a good personality, sensitive to other people's needs and concerns. You're
Hmm.
taking care of your 6 sisters. You're going to school. You're working. You're doing all of this stuff. So when I try to talk about looting and rioting and BLM and Antifa and all of this, that's kind of like miss me with that, right? That's
Well,
where
I
you at
will
with it.
say this, but I didn't really know about it until 2020. And once everything happened on 2020, because I
Hmm.
had taken a semester off from school, I needed a break. I was burnt out, so I took a semester off. And that's when I really started noticing things. And to me, when all that happened, uh, one night when I believe when the riots really intense, where I work, we got locked in. There wasn't
You
riots
got locked in at
downtown.
work.
They locked us in at work, and
Wow.
here's the thing, there wasn't any rioting happening near where I work, but the way, because corporate called us and they said lock up the store, get everyone out except the employees, stay in the store, wait for us to call you back, and then they just hung up.
Wow.
So they called us back, and we
Hmm.
had prepared for this the night before. I told certain people, I was like, look, bring medical supplies, bring something for self-defense if you have to, we may be stuck in here.
Hmm.
And they had been buying us food and drinks for a few days, because of all the work we've been putting in. So we were good on food and
Yeah.
water. So select a few well, actually, let me backtrack. I was the only one that brought anything that really mattered. Everyone kind of think nothing was going to happen, and then everyone
Hmm.
looked towards me when when the
Well,
poo poo
they
hit the
say,
fan.
and I don't want you to talk too much, but
Mm,
if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And so when you think about 2020, here you are locked in at work because, and I
mm-hmm,
think I remember the day you're talking about because we're community close. That was the
mm-hmm.
day that BLM marched into the downtown area of our city
I think
and
so.
caused, totally a bunch of unnecessary. Broke my phone is
Oh
one
wow.
thing.
Uh,
Took. But that's another story. But I'm thinking about Kendo. From 2016, Trump wins, and your friends try to do that, and the security kind of goes prejudice right, which is he
Hmm.
backs them up but doesn't do anything to the young black kids. And
Hmm.
now it's 2020. You voted like an American citizen should.
Hmm.
You were going to obviously be okay with the results of it. I'm thinking, because we got to believe in the process. Yeah, I see you
Hmm.
shaking your head. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But
Oh yeah, go.
what I'm seeing is now you're working, you're going to school, and your entire life is disrupted by young people who are pretty much the same age as you, but they're not working. They ain't
Hmm.
going to their jobs. They running up and down in the downtown areas of most of these cities in the Inland Empire doing stupid stuff. How does
Hmm.
that make you feel as a young 21-year-old when you look at your peers? I mean, do you see a day when you guys are going to be able to work this out, and we can put an end to the riots and the looting and all of that when something doesn't go their way? Do you have any ideas how we can deal with that?
Well, as the saying goes, if you want peace, prepare for war. Not everyone's peace is the exact same. I would pray that we could all get together, and I try. I have friends on social media that are left leaning, and we get along fine until it comes to politics, and then suddenly, I try to
Mhm.
not be at the other person's throat, but it's kind of hard to do that when they're at your throat.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
see, again, watch this, Kendall. That's one of the things I appreciate about you.
Hmm.
You're a nice guy, but you ain't no punk. You know what
Yep.
I'm
When it
saying?
comes like when it comes time to play, it's time to play.
Exactly. And so that's one of the things I get this idea about you that you're some kind of prepper. Some people think the word prepper is a bad word. If you say
No,
they're a
not at all.
prepper, they're seeing the dug in the whole basement, and you got 8,000 rounds of ammunition and all this
No.
kind of stuff. Are you that kind of person, or who are you, Kendo, when it comes
Uh,
to the America that we're in right now? Are you some kind of radical, or are you just a young man who is just going to be ready in case, the fan hits the.
hmm I want to backtrack to the radical thing real quick. You've seen my social media tons of times, and
Mhm.
it's funny because for the viewers, there's a meme that I frequently put on my page, and it says it's a stereotype. It is the stereotypical liberal saying who radicalized you, and it's the stereotypical right wing going up to him and saying you
Mhm.
did, you're the one that caused this. But
Right.
I'm like I said, the night. So before the night that my store had been, we'd been locked in like fish in a barrel.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't own body armor. I didn't own any really big means of self defense. I'm under 20. I was under 21 at the time. I didn't. I wasn't allowed to
Right.
have a gun unless I put in 40 hours into a hunting license, which I did not. I didn't have 40 hours to
Right.
do
You're in
that, and I
school,
didn't
you're
have the money
working,
to
you're
do
taking
that.
care of your sisters. You don't have that
Mhm.
kind of time. Yeah.
So, and then the very next day, I looked at my savings and I was like, you know what, we're doing this. Very next day, I went out and bought body armor for me because at the time I
Mhm.
lived with my dad. I went out and bought body armor for everyone in my house. So me,
Wow.
my blood sister, and my father. I got sets of body armor for all of us. I went and got a high powered pellet gun because that's all I could get, and then
But you
from
were
that day
prepared to
on.
defend and protect your family is what you were trying to
Mhm.
be
Oh,
about.
and yep, and at that time my girlfriend had been staying with us. So
Hmm.
to me, me and my dad, that automatic instinct kicks in of it's time for you to defend the house. So
Right.
we had everything ready to go. I slept with body armor next to my bed. I had my pellet gun loaded up. It's not going to kill someone, but it's definitely going to hurt and it's definitely going to slow them down.
Well,
Um.
let's not divulge all of your equipment and whatnot. But I want to
Oh yeah.
expand on what you said.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with Star Trek at all?
I'm going to be honest with you. Nope. I'm a Star Wars person all the way, so I can't relate on
Blasphemy! Now I'm Star Wars too.
it.
Was it? I'm Star Wars too, but I'm also Star Trek. Watch this out. In Star Trek: The Next Generation, you
Mhm.
got one of the can't remember his name all the way, but they were dealing with the Cardassians, and
Mhm.
this guy had a bad encounter with the Cardassians, so he
Mhm.
walked up to the Cardassian and he said, "You know what? Miles O'Brien. Miles O'Brien is his name. He's the transporter guy, engineer Miles
Mhm.
O'Brien." And he walks up to the Cardassian and he says to him, "You know, Cardassian, it's not you that I hate. I hate what I've become because of you."
Mhm.
And that's what you brought to mind when you said what you said. And I'm
Mhm.
looking at you, and I'm thinking those of us with the gray in our hair and in our face and whatnot, we owe young people, all of you, even the ones that are upset and marching down the street and thinking nobody hears them. They're just listening to a lie. We all
Mhm.
hear you, we all see you, and we all care,
Mhm.
but they're not doing it the right way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
feel like we've let you all down. We've let you down, Kendo, and we've let the angry young people who are in the streets down, because you shouldn't have to be going to bed with body armor on in America.
No.
You know, well, scratch that.
Well,
Nobody
I've
should be
always had
going to
that
bed.
mentality.
Right, but
It's always next to my ready to go. You never know when someone's gonna, I
right, but
could
what I
rub
what
someone the wrong way at work, and they could follow me home, be ready to kick in my door by the time I go to sleep. Actually, that did happen. So
wait,
sorry,
hold
sorry
up,
to.
hold up.
Yeah, you're good.
What That's okay. We're gonna do this. What I
Mhm.
was trying to say is this, because I'm thinking about you and your dad, and you had to go out and buy body armor.
Mhm.
And I was about to say, you shouldn't have to live like that.
Mhm.
And then I remembered, in my neighborhood when I was growing up, we couldn't afford body armor. And if you did, it would look like you was wearing, Iron Man suit, because it wasn't the technology that we have now with the
Yeah.
Kevlar and all of that.
Mhm.
The only protection we had was the bathtub. You know,
Yeah.
you'd have to jump it when you hear the crack, crack, pop, pop, quick, quick, pop. So I was just sitting there thinking, there are people in the inner cities who wish they could buy body armor and they need it. You know what I'm saying? So we've let you all down, because there are young people in the inner cities who need body armor and can't get it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you were able to get it, but I wish you didn't need it. Do you see
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to ask you real quick, because I don't want to keep you up. I know you got to get to studying and all of that.
Um,
Um,
you're good. I don't have anything going on tomorrow. If you want to keep going, we are completely fine to keep going.
oh no, well we got constraints here, for the show. But I
Oh
wanna
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna I wanna go into a question, with you, relevant to, let's say, law enforcement.
Okay.
Let's talk about law enforcement for a minute,
Mhm.
right? You are a criminal justice major. Am I correct?
Mhm. Yep. Just started my actual criminal justice classes this semester. Be finishing them in about
Have,
two, three
have have
weeks.
you have you been able to follow the Chauvin George Floyd trial?
I was able to follow very specific pieces of it. The only pieces I really followed mostly were, let's see, I think the first bit of it I saw was when they interviewed, I think it was the EMT tech or the fire engine, the fire medical engine tech. I could be wrong
Mm-hmm.
about that. I saw that one. It seemed like she didn't know what she was saying because, well,
Well, what I
she's on
want to do
camera.
is just get your basic impression, because I'm
Hmm.
sitting here looking at you and I'm thinking you're going to end up with a badge on at some point. I mean, is that your
Hmm.
goal? That's where you're headed, right?
Well, to be completely honest with you, Kenny, the way things are going, I've been reconsidering, but let's just say, yeah, that's still the goal.
But it's in the back of your head. You're thinking, why am I doing this?
Well, yeah, because they're trying to pass. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the George Floyd Act, which it makes if you put someone in the cruiser the wrong way, they're going to sue you and you're going to lose your job because you put
Yeah,
someone in the back of your cruiser the wrong way.
there's no immunity for law enforcement, or should I say they're trying
They're
to take
taking
that
it away.
away.
Yep.
What is your opinion of Chauvin? Do you believe he's a cop that's been done wrong? Do you believe he's a cop that did wrong? What's your opinion of him?
To be honest with you,
Or
I
am
think
I,
it's
or am I,
both.
or am I putting you on the spot with that?
No, no, it's fine. I'd like to think this is still American. I have an opinion. If someone doesn't like that, that's fine. That's why I have my face covered up. Um, what was I gonna say? I think, to be honest with you, I think it's both because what's really funny, and I'm lucky to have the opportunity to go to school because I learned about the use of force continuum and the way Derek Chauvin went about it. I would have, we can sit here all day and say I would have done this, I would have done that, but the fact of the matter is we weren't there. He was, and from the looks of it, he somewhat veered a little bit away from the use of force continuum, but not by that much. Granted, not everything can be by the book. You're on the streets. You're not in a courtroom. Um.
Well, I want to go right there where you are,
Mhm.
which is, you said he veered away.
Mhm.
Right where he veered into, because I'm sure you're aware of this. I used to be a cop once upon a
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
You know, um, when you say he veered away into a place that's called shocking the conscience of the public. Have you dealt with that concept in class yet?
No. does not sound familiar. Not yet.
Okay, let me explain it as fast and briefly as I can.
Mhm.
You have to be mindful that the public is watching you.
Yep.
Everybody's eyes is on you. Everything you do is going to be hyper,
Mhm.
visual.
Everything's recorded.
You have to
and
be
everything's
careful
exaggerated.
not to inflame the
Excuse me.
passions of the public, not to offend, and not to shock.
Yep.
For example, say you're firing rounds at somebody and you are truly in the right and you're trying to defend life. But you go ahead and bust out 3 to the head, because you got him. Pip, 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 pip. You pop 3 to the head.
Yep.
That's shocking to the conscience of the public.
Mhm.
And if they see you do that, that's going to be some bad mojo.
Yeah.
When Chauvin veered, as I agree with you, he went off to the side a little bit.
Mhm.
The 9 minutes.
Mhm.
The 9 minutes with handcuffs on.
Yep.
So now you're the head juror, and we're going to try to move on from this. But I want to get your 21-year-old.
Mhm.
Is he going to jail for murder, or what's happening with this man? If you in charge,
If it
in
was
about
my
a
verdict,
minute, in a minute, tell me what would have happened to Chauvin if you had something to say about it.
well, my honest verdict would have been I wouldn't have sent him to. I would not have got him on manslaughter charges.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an involuntary manslaughter. Like I said, I don't know the whole facts of the case. I do know that Mr. Floyd was under the influence. I do know that they were trying to get him in the cruiser, and he was being very resistant. And where I work, I've helped hold a guy down who's bone skinnier than me, and it took 4 of us to hold this guy down because he was on speed. When the cops got there and they finally got him in, they said, "Looks like he's on speed." And it was me and 3 other people holding this dude down, and it was hard.
Oh yeah, I've dealt with PCP arrest. There's nothing pretty about it at all. Nothing pretty about it at all.
But if you want my honest to God verdict, and like I said, I'm just starting my criminal justice courses. I'm done with gen ed. I don't know the name of the charges, but I would have gotten him on the lines. Mostly the things I would have gone for are misconduct, because he definitely didn't have misconduct. I think he did, like we say, he veered away from the use of force continuum, and he veered away from procedure. Granting, what we did learn is every agency, their use of force continuum differs slightly, not a lot, but very slightly, and different agencies have different policies because they're different police departments. Maybe an involuntary manslaughter. I'm not sure about that one. I would want to look more into the depths of what was in Mr. Floyd's system, how everything was going on. I've heard that there's angles showing Mr. Chauvin was on his back, not his neck. I've heard, the other thing where he was on his neck, which,
but now,
I don't think you should be on
watch this.
someone's neck.
Let's bring it in. What I'm asking is, what would you do with him? What's happening with Chauvin? You're up there, you got the robe on, and it's going down. What's happening? Is it a tough one? You want to skip it?
Well, no, this is good because I'm in criminal justice courts, and things like this are going to have to.
I'm going to give you some statements behind your judgment, but go ahead. I want to see what you're going to do here.
At the end of the day, I would hit him with a bunch of manslaughter. Sorry, I back up. I would hit him with a bunch of misconduct charges. Probably, I don't. In my view, I don't have enough. I do not have the proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he is what solely killed Mr. Floyd. I'm not going to give him manslaughter charges or anything of the sort because I do not think that he solely did it. I do believe he does deserve jail time, and he's going to go to general population. He's gonna
you would do that? I'm gonna tell you something. I would not. Well, I don't like Chauvin. I think he's a POS. You know what I mean? I think he's a cruel, mean man because his history shows that he's had anger issues even before meeting Mr. Floyd.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I still wouldn't put a former cop, ex-cop.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You don't put him in general population.
Yep, sorry.
He would last about what? About a week? No.
Oh yeah, no, you're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So now let me help you out here. Ready? I agree with you. Your assessment is dead on, and I want to thank you for not being dissuade from your opinion. Most people are sitting there grappling with it like Maxine Waters. Oh, he's got to get murder. It's murder. You, young man, are right. Your estimation of the situation is right. He veered outside of the continuum, as you say. he is in this area. Let me give you these words. You might hear about him as you go further into your classes and your training.
Mhm.
He ended up in a place called depraved indifference
Mhm.
and cruelty under the color of authority, which actually goes into what you were saying, which is he was violating policies and derelict in his duties. I want to give you kudos for that. You're right.
Mhm.
Charging this man with murder, and with Maxine Waters weighing in, and then finding out that one of the jurors is a member of Black Lives Matters.
Mhm.
Whoo,
Actually,
it's good.
can I talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's why I'm
Okay,
bringing.
so
I'm taking you there so we can get your opinion on
here's
it.
if you want my honest to God opinion about what was
Mm-hmm,
wrong with this case, there's multiple
mm-hmm.
factors. So the very first thing is this is a very high profile case. And we should not have televised every single second because
It
that
should have
means
been
bias.
sequestered from day one.
Because that means everyone knows the camera's on them. Everyone knows that if they say the wrong thing, they're going to lose their job. Their families will lose their job. People are going to lose their business because people are going to riot. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. That's why I do not think
Case
it
in
was a
point,
fair
the reason
trial.
you have a mask on right now is to protect yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I
We're
have an
just having
opinion
a
that
conversation.
differentiates. Mhm.
Yeah, so you're
And
right. Um,
not only that, the judge
mhm.
even said the judge made a comment about Maxine Waters' comments. I thought you're not supposed to look at things outside of a case when you're on a case. The
You're
lawyer,
not.
if I'm not wrong, the lawyers can't. The jurors, I know for a fact the jurors can't because we just got done going over jury things.
Hmm.
I don't think the judge can. And then again, you're a judge. You should know better than that.
Well,
You
the
know,
judge did know better. If you saw the video, he even kind of intimated that this thing is going to probably be set aside and there's going to be a retrial for Chauvin. I feel bad for the man. I don't like him. I really don't. I can't tell you how much I don't like Chauvin, but I
mhm,
also believe in our justice system. I believe that above all things in this nation, if we lose faith in this system, it's a wrap. It's a
mhm.
wrap. So now I'm going to ask you as we get ready to wrap up. I want to thank you, one, for being up, this late to do the show.
Of course,
Um,
this is nothing for me. I work during this time. This is nothing.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, normally.
Yep. Yep.
What is your opinion of the state of our nation? If you had to say to someone else, even aliens, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you had to say what is the state of America to somebody else, what would you be saying to them right now?
We're being divided very quickly, and we are quickly losing what it means to be an American. Because being
Mm.
American isn't just white. It's like what is it? What's the? Have you seen that one Thor movie? I forget which movie it is, but he says, our home isn't a place; it's a people. It's wherever our people
When
go.
Odin was passing away and he told
Yes,
Thor, he
yes.
said,
Mm,
"You're gonna lose Asgard," and Thor's like, "We can't lose Asgard. That means too much." And his
mm,
father told him, "You're absolutely right. Home is not a place.
it's
Home
people.
is people."
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. We're being divided. We're being lied to. We're being tricked.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to me, and I'm not picking on African Americans because it seems like lately, this last week, there's a new energy going on,
Mm-hmm.
which is now you can't say nothing bad about black people, whether it's Democrat or whatever, because now
Mm-hmm.
you wrong. You wrong if you say something negative. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. Evil is goading the young African Americans to abandon the rule of law,
Mm-hmm.
to treat people of different colors differently. And as soon as evil has dragged them far enough away from the tenets that have protected us all, it'll be too late and there'll be no refuge for them. And that is why I open my mouth. That's why I invite young people like you on so we can talk. Somebody's going to see this, somebody's going to hear what we're saying, and they're going to get what we were talking about. We're not talking about get your gun, Annie, and let's go do something. We're saying let's stop and get back to where
Come
we
together as
were.
a community.
Right. You know, get back to your sophomore year. We ain't got to go back to 2016, but we can go back because like you said, home is where?
Home is a people.
And home is a people. Home is in our
Mm.
hearts. Let's get back to a point where we weren't so divided over the simple issues that were laid out in front of us. Donald Trump is not a bad man. He's not so bad a man, if that's the way you want to put it, that our nation should be destroyed over it.
Oh,
He's no worse than Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi or even
nope.
Gavin Newsom.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you for your input on that, but I also want to ask you this because I was at a meeting the other night and I saw something that just blew me away.
Mhm.
I used to be a member of the United States Air Force, law enforcement
Mhm.
specialist, right?
Okay.
And when we used to march, we marched in combat boots, jump boots, you
Mhm.
know, full uniform. They didn't care if it was 119 degrees.
Oh
You
yeah.
go, you doing it.
Yep.
But I also will never forget as we were graduating, a new class was coming in, and that was true for my military training, and that was true for my civilian law enforcement training. Seems like I was the last of a certain thing, a
Mhm.
certain toughness, right?
Mhm.
I looked in amazement as the people next to me who were doing their boot camp had on gym
Mhm.
shoes, sweatpants, you know what I mean, bandanas and whatnot. And I'm like, man, this is so cream puff. But now, the video I saw yesterday, Kendo,
Mhm.
it's showing sensitivity training in the Air Force and men
Oh.
having to put on high heel shoes so they can understand what a woman's foot feels like in a high heel shoe and all of that. So I'm looking at you and I see a pretty solid young American male ready to protect his woman, his family, his home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What is your opinion of your counterparts of the same age as you right now? Do you believe that they would be ready to handle an international conflict at this point?
The average ones, no, and I know that for a fact because right around when
You
the
just said that off the bat.
no,
Go ahead.
I'm going to be honest because right around the 2020 election, we all knew things were going bad, and there are certain people in my town that I live next to that I'm like, hey, we may not agree on certain things, but you are a friend of mine. You're a part of
Hmm.
my tribe, and I'm going to do what it takes to help protect you. So there were certain
Hmm.
people I reached out to, and I said, hey, look, I know we have political differences. Things may go south. If you need anything, call me. I'm down the street.
And they
They
probably
said
looked
the
at you like
exact
you were
same
cray
thing.
cray, right?
No, they said a few of them said the exact same thing. A few of the other ones were like just like okay, but a few of them were like, yeah, you know what? Same to you. If you need anything, let me know.
Okay. Okay. So as a young 21-year-old American, you feel like it's almost time to circle the wagons? What am I getting from you here?
Uh,
Talk to me.
uh, well, what do you mean by circle the wagons? I haven't heard that one before.
Oh, you haven't heard? Oh, see, that's the difference in the generations. Uh, circle the wagons is what the cavalry used to do before the Indians would attack. They would take the chuck wagons and they would make a big giant circle with the chuck wagons and
Yep, you
everybody
know what?
would.
Yeah, I know now. I know what you're talking about. Yep, getting your perimeter set up, getting your defenses ready. Yep. Okay. Um,
So, do you feel it's perimeter setup time, or what are you feeling over there?
I in the state of our country, I feel like it's gonna be something along those lines, but it's gonna be multiple wagon circles that are looking at other wagon circles, thinking, "What the hell are they doing over there?" And then realizing they're in the same boat, and
Ah,
they're gonna be like, "Well, we missed a chance for a partnership and potentially greater resources." So,
okay.
um,
I see. So you're saying everything's going to break off into factions?
I hope it doesn't. I really do. I really hope we can come out of this together.
Mm-hmm.
But the way things are going and the way things are, even in the gun community, we have people in factions when we really shouldn't. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Do you recognize the man that's in my backdrop?
yes, that's Ronald Reagan, and I want to say his wife, correct?
Yes, and that's
Okay,
Nancy.
okay.
I served under that man in the United
Mhm.
States Air Force. It was a beautiful time, and I would say, short of President Donald J. Trump, never has this country had a better president than that one.
Mhm.
You have, and I shouldn't say you because I don't know how you feel about him. Right now, Joe Biden is at the White House. What are your thoughts on that?
On him as a person or a president or both.
Well, they're actually one and the same, believe it or not,
Um,
because he is commander in chief. You know why they call it commander in chief?
actually,
Because
no, I don't.
well, that's why we're doing this. See, it's
Yep,
old
no,
school,
perfect.
new
Yeah, no,
school,
this is
right?
fine. I'm not one of
Yeah.
those people who's gonna get mad because I don't know something. I want if I messed up, I want to know where I messed
Mhm.
up, and I want to
He
correct.
is Pontiff Maximus, commander in chief. When you become the president of the United States of America, you are the imbuement of power. So when I
Mhm.
ask you how you feel about Joe Biden, yeah, it is one and the same. Him as a person is the same as him as a president
Mhm.
because even during the National Day of Prayer, right?
Mhm.
This man refused to use the word God while doing a ceremony for a National Day of Prayer. And I know he thinks he's evolved, that he's trying to respect all the other religions, you know.
Hmm.
But that birth out of who Joe Biden is. So yeah, the question is going to cover both sides. Him as a person, him as a president. What do you think about him?
Him as a person, he's an elderly man that needs help. He needs mental help. As a president, I I just don't like him. You know, I hate to take that route and just flat out say I don't like him as a president and just
Hmm.
be being blatantly, for lack of a better word, inappropriate about it.
Hmm.
I just don't like what he's doing. You know, people call Trump a tyrant, but Trump didn't sit in office and sign order after order after order. You know,
Yeah.
it takes $40 to fill up my car now. Before that, my car would go from almost empty to full with about $20, but now it's $40 to fill up my car,
I just
and it's
love your
insane.
answers. Your answers are the real deal. That's how that's how you see, because you're such an industrious young man. You out there handling
Oh,
your business. Now your money has been shrunk. Now
I got more for you.
I know, but I'm setting you up for the. You're right. Your
Hmm.
gas tank, a $20 bill would get you to school, to work, and home a
Yep.
couple times probably.
Yep.
But now it's
Mhm. And I would
costing you
only have to
twice as
fill up
much.
once. Yep. And I think I
Wow.
fill up now. I fill up now probably 3 or 4 times a week, whereas before, when I was
Hmm.
going to school and work, I only filled
Hmm.
up twice a week. But now I fill up 3 to 4 times a week.
So what are you doing? Are you going to like the drive-in movies or something? What's happening with that? Why the increase in trips? Is that what you're saying?
Um, well, no, I'm going the same distance.
Oh, but the because of the gas prices, you're not getting
Hmm.
as much fuel.
Yep.
Gotcha, gotcha. So now you were going to say something along those lines when I said you were a student and you got your monies figured out in your head. What were you going to say?
A few seconds ago, or a few
Yeah,
minutes ago.
no, a
Okay,
few
so a few
seconds ago.
seconds ago, what I was gonna backtrack on him as a president, and what's really funny is, you know, they sit here and say, green this, green that. Well, the thing is, um, he took away a pipeline. Yeah, okay. So you
Hmm.
take away a pipeline. What do you have to do with all the gas that you're refining now? You're gonna have to put it in barrels. Barrels are gonna cost money. You're gonna have to pay people to move those barrels. That's gonna cost money. You're gonna have to pay the money for people to load the barrels onto a truck. You're gonna have to pay the truck for all four of those to get to a train or to however that the heck they transport oil and gas.
Hmm.
Look at how much pollution you create then. Look at how much more movement you create
You
then.
mean
And you
that
sit
big
here and say it's
footprint
for
they always
green?
try to talk about?
Exactly, exactly. You
Yeah,
want to sit here and claim it's green? It's not green. Okay,
yeah, it's
you
kind of
like they need to
brown
take a step back and take
and
a look in the
sticky
mirror.
and gooey. Yeah, so in 14 years you're gonna run for president, right?
You know, it's funny that you said that because I told my mom that the other day. I was like, "Mom, would you vote for me if I was running for president?" She said, "It depends on what your main goals are." And I was like, "Okay, mom." And I said that to my father and my grandparents, and they said the exact same thing, which is that's their right. If they don't like my policies, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They can vote for someone else. That's the beauty of this country, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
lose that real quick if we keep sitting here yelling, "I don't like you because of your opinion." Well,
So let me get this straight.
the party of variety doesn't really like variety.
Yeah, exactly. But now I wanna tease you with this for a second. You don't like Joe Biden as a person. You feel sorry for him, but you don't like him as a president, and you feel sorry for him as a person.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Kendo, when are you going to go out and start looting and burning and cancel culture and getting your friends that are Democrats fired from their job because you don't like Biden? When you going to start doing that, man?
The only time I would remotely ever do anything close to looting is when things have gone so far downhill that
I
there is no
was
law
joking,
enforcement
Kendo.
and
Kendo, it
there's
was
no
a joke.
central. The only time I would
you
start doing
you
that.
all serious? it
That's
was
the only time.
it was,
Only
it
time.
was a joke, Kendo. I
No, to
was.
me, Kenny, that's above my morals.
That's what I want to
It's
hear.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm a man of morals, but at the same time, I
Mm,
really hate myself for my morals because there's times where I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that, but it's the
yep.
right thing to do, so I should do it.
Well, see, you're the kind of person America was designed for.
Yep.
I believe it was Thomas Jefferson who said it. He said that America was designed for a just and moral people. You know.
Yeah.
Now, some people would immediately, they're gonna immediately go. But what about all them racists and all that? They weren't the people that he was talking about. It's this nation works best when it's in the majority control of a just and moral people, because the morality is what brought us the Civil Rights Acts. The morality is what got us the amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And the just is what got a man, and his name is it Abernathy? I'm trying to remember what his name is real quick. But the just is where people who were dealt with unfairly many, many years ago
Mm.
could now go into our court system and get some justice. So this country was designed for you, because like you said, you hate yourself for being so nice.
Mhm.
Don't, young man. You're doing it right. You got
Yeah.
it right. So we're about to wrap it up, but I'm gonna give you the mic for a minute. If there's something you want to say to the people, can I get you back on at another time? So when people see this, they're going to have things they want to say about it. So
Mhm.
we'll take those questions, and then I'll feed you the questions from the responses that people give based on the show.
Yeah, I'm down to. I am completely 100% okay with definitely returning.
Okay,
I'd probably set up it better so you guys could see the flag that I have. There was
it's
something.
okay.
Now I forget what it was. Give me a second here. We were talking about the gas prices. We were talking about Biden as
Mhm.
president. There was something else I wanted to comment on, and it's something my girlfriend and I talk about a lot. I really want to
Well,
say it, and I don't
we'll
remember it
watch
now.
this. We'll figure it out, because this is what's going to happen. You talked about the state of the nation. We
Mhm.
talked about the citizens. We talked about the manhood, the masculinity of the American male. We touched on the presidents, and you gave us
Mhm.
your opinion on that. Your analogy as to why we're being harmed by a Biden presidency was great.
Mhm.
His plan is costing us too much.
Yep.
You know, we were fine under President Donald J. Trump. Gas at $20. I remember that. You're absolutely right. I looked up one day, and I think it was my car. I drive a big old Crown Vic.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
oh,
I
that's my
love the Crown
baby.
Vics. Those are
Yeah,
so pretty.
yeah. But my Crown Vic, I could fill it up for like $35. Now it's like 70. It's like, yeah, she's got a big old tank. I'm gonna tell you something. In my opinion, in my estimation, the Crown Victoria Interceptor is one of the finest machines ever made.
Oh
It
yeah,
just,
our,
and it
our
works great for the big man.
my mechanic has his. He repaired his, and he loves his.
There's no need. What
I say
was it?
my
Yeah.
mechanic as if I owe him, but
Mhm.
the guy I take my car to.
Right. Once you own a Crown Vic Interceptor, you pretty much don't need another car in life. You just got to take care of that one.
Mhm.
It's a nice machine. So I guess that's what I want to have you on for, because like I say, I see you from time to time. We talk, and we discuss the issues of the day, and I knew you'd be an interesting guest to have on, especially where you fit in the demographics is absolutely spot on. You know,
Mhm.
and so your opinion of our America right now was a great help. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to watch this show and want to hear more from you,
Mhm.
because
I'm
you
okay
know,
with that.
yeah, he says he's okay with that. Oh, you know what? Watch this. You know what? I'm going to do it. Kendo, I'm going to do it. This is Saturday night, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk to some people and see what's up. I think I want to have you on, and then some of my select Uber fans. I mean, my Uber fans, not just any
Mhm.
old body, right? I'm
Mhm.
gonna bring on about 4 or 5 other people, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna let them interact with us, and you talk to them, and they talk to you. Some of them are, OGs like myself. A few of
Mhm.
them are your age. I'm gonna go ahead and do a group interview where we can all just get together and have this conversation about our nation. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the last minute is yours. Say what you got to say to America, and we're gonna go ahead and close out the show.
The only thing I have to really say is, um, actually, I'm gonna say what one of my favorite. I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. One of my favorite YouTubers says is, "Don't do something when you're angry. Wait until you've calmed down. If you do something when you're angry, you're gonna regret it. Never do anything angry, unless you're working out. If you're working out, then get angry because that's how you get stressed out. Because that's what I'm gonna do when we're done here." Um,
Okay.
Next time though, I would like to talk a little bit more about. I guess you'd say I want to look into libertarian because I don't know if you remember that one day I told you if most people sat down and put their emotions aside, they'd probably be libertarian
Hmm.
because they realize, well, that's someone else's business, not mine. So why should I get into it?
Yeah, but see, that's just it. I remember us having that conversation, and it kind of struck me aback. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Larry Elder claims to be a libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
I know some other people who claim to be libertarians. Kendo, I'm scared of libertarians
How come?
because, well, here's how come. They don't know enough or care enough. Like you said, they would be like, it's somebody else's business. Why should I get involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know enough or care enough to get involved. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why the Democrats have made
Yeah.
such gains, because that libertarian energy kind of goes that way because it's the path of least resistance. Do you see what I'm saying?
True. Yeah. No, I
And
get exactly what you're saying.
so that, yeah, I'm not going to try to dissuade your opinion about libertarians,
No.
but I'm a little nervous with them because the bottom line is this country was founded on people who like Popeye. That's
Yep.
all I can stand because I can't stand no more. You know,
Oh yeah, that's
we,
another thing.
we
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
yeah. Well, we're gonna have to talk about it another time
Yeah, yeah.
because we out of
Be
time for
strong. Be a
today.
strong man. That's all I'm gonna say. Be a strong man. Okay.
Let your yet watch this. This is what I say to everybody that knows me and anybody that I deal with. Let your yes be yes, and let your
Mhm.
no be no. But that would require steel in our legs because CNN, channel 2, 5, 7, 11, they going to challenge you. They're going to get in your face as a young person, right? And they're going to be like telling you things like, oh, I can't believe you with that damn orange man. Woo, woo, woo. And they try to punk you and bully you, young people, into thinking you're supposed to support their point of view. I applaud you, Kendo, for being strong enough, for being, and I'm going to say this, it might offend some, I don't care, being young man enough, you know what I'm saying, to hold your ground. We've had this conversation. We discussed very serious topics, Chauvin, the whole nine yards, and you've been very consistent
Mhm.
with what you think and what you believe. I feel like you held back a little bit, and that's fine, because we still got to make it digestible for the people.
Mhm.
Um, I think I think we should do that, Kendo, and I'm gonna ask everybody that's been listening to this conversation. I call this a
Mhm.
conversation.
Yeah,
I
this is
want
good.
to.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, huh? In fact, you
Mhm.
know what I want you to do? Invite two of your friends too.
All right, I'll
Okay,
say you can gather up.
yeah, try to invite two, and make sure they come up because you guys are young people. See me, I
Mhm.
don't mind showing my face. Y'all have seen this face. You done messed
Mhm.
with my business. You know what I mean? You tried to attack me and all this kind of crazy stuff. I'm ready. I ain't screwed. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
but for you young people, yeah, I want you to protect yourself so that your livelihood and stuff don't get, you know, challenged and
Mhm.
whatnot.
Yep.
Kendo, thank you very much. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. We're doing it video style today. There's no place I'd rather be, nothing more I'd rather do than being right here doing this show for you. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are out.
Have a good night, everybody.